1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
right, 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Beautiful Tuesday morning, and it's one of my favorite segments of the broadcast week when Carol Ann Baldwin comes in and brings you the program called In the Garden with Carol Ann. If you'd like to be on the show, whether it's to ask a question or just to say, hey, Carol Ann, the number is 352-622-9622. Two stories in the news today that we can kind of parlay into a question for you. Good morning, Carol Ann. How you doing?
Good morning, Larry. Real good, real good. Yeah, but sitting here on the laptop because it's like, okay, I saw it and I should have read up on some of that on the bronzing and that the other day because I did hear about it. I think it's last couple of days it's been in the news a little bit.
The interesting thing about the article, the confusing thing, I suppose, is in one place it says it's caused by these
Little
insects.
bugs, yeah.
And the other one says
It's a virus.
No, well, it says it's brought up by the cars. It says it's brought up by traffic.
Well, because the insects
Are in the cars?
are hitching a ride.
Okay.
But it's,
right.
one of those kind of things. It's
And apparently it's in Alachua County.
It's actually, I brought up, and that's what I was complaining that why do I not bring some cheaters with me when I come? It's actually in many, many counties, and it is in, I believe it said, it's Alachua, the closest ones to us, Lake, Alachua.
Yeah, that kind of brackets us. I mean, we're between the two.
Right, Sumter. And I'm not sure why, and I'm, when was this written? The article I'm looking at is University of Florida. Actually, it's copyright 2018. So this one may just not have been updated with the other counties listed. And my big question, the question I had, because what I was hearing on the news was that it's moving up. And I thought, well, okay, but they're not telling us what palms are most susceptible.
Oh, okay.
And I'm looking at the list going, yeah, that's like what we grow here. So it's, a lot of ones that are very common in Central Florida landscapes. So
So I have a question based on the second news story and combining it with this one.
Right, and removing trees.
The second news story says you no longer need to get permission from the government, but you still need an arborist to give you the okay.
Right.
That the tree
That's for this time of year, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Because it was remember it was a few months ago they were talking about this.
When did Robert come in here?
Look at there, you got coffee.
Okay.
That it was because of hurricane season. And they were allowing you to not have to get permits to remove trees that should come down. And the reason for the arborist is saying, yes, these trees are a hazard or they are diseased or they are, that there's a problem with them. Yes, your arborist could tell you whether or not you have lethal bronzing, allowing you to not have to pull a permit at least to remove the tree.
Okay, so here's my question about the palms. Mm-hmm. The one outside the window here.
Yeah.
That's what I picture when I picture a palm.
Right, and there's all kinds of them.
But there's all kinds of them.
Right.
So I need permission from an arborist to take that down.
Right.
Right?
Or the holly tree or the magnolia tree or any of the ones out in the parking lot.
But what about that sago?
Sago, yeah.
That looks like a tree, but it's a very short one. Is that a tree? Do you need a permission for that one? Because I've cut them down before.
That's probably not. That's probably one of those things of, I think they're more over looking at oak trees and things like that, but I'm not sure. I would be, if you're seriously considering the need or the want to remove a few trees on your property, I'd call the county and ask for clarification. Because, like you say, I mean, you could have a bottle brush. Bottle brush is a bush, unless you've trained it to a single stem, and then it becomes a tree. Do you need permission to take that down if it's having a problem, or is it just the oak tree next to it that you would need to?
So does it apply to like the crepe myrtles also?
Again, possibly on the crepe myrtles, only for the size of those. But again, a clarification before you hire the tree guy just to come out and start cutting. But at least with this ability to just needing the arborist to say the trees are bad, that you can have them removed. It saves you some money, is what it is, because your permit costs you a fee.
Can I ask a question about like landscape guys, especially tree guys?
Okay.
It would make sense that they would also get the schooling they need to be an arborist, so they could be both in one, no?
Some can be, and you may even find if it's a large enough company that maybe someone is.
Right. It's like a banker being a notary. It only makes sense that you'd be both. Right.
But that's, and it depends on the size of the company. If they're just a couple guys that come out and take trees down for people, not necessarily. I mean, if you had that many people that were arborists.
You had an arborist in here one time.
We've had some. I mean, there are several arborists in the county.
Yeah, a pretty arborist in here. How come you don't invite your arborist back in anymore?
But no, we got, with that, there are a few in the county, but a lot of them, because what that's going to do is if you have an arborist, will somebody pay that extra?
How much is it?
I'm not sure. I personally have not hired an arborist. My sister-in-law had to have a very large magnolia removed.
So what is the reality of this, though?
On which? On the tree removal?
No, on paying or getting approval. I'm guessing a lot of people just go ahead and cut it down and nobody even knows.
True. There are probably a lot of people who do that, unless you happen to be somewhere where you have neighbors. A neighborhood where homes are closer together. Somebody might be calling the county on you.
Yeah.
And tree removal companies are licensed and insured, or they should be. And so if you are hiring a reputable company, they're either going to tell you that you really should have a permit for this, or possibly, I don't know. I could be talking out my ear.
Talking out of your ear?
Talking out of my ear. Yep. I might not be telling the truth completely, or not that I'm lying, but I may be misinformed. But that some of the companies, larger companies, I'll say, may even pull the permits for you. That they would, make the arrangements that if you're going to clear the property or you're going to have several large trees taken out, either because of the safety of your home or you're making room to put a shed or a barn on the property, that they would, take care of some of that. I don't know, on that. Maybe not. Like I said, I could be talking out of my ear, one of those kind of things. But the lethal bronzing is a big thing, really, with how much palms are part of the landscape.
People love their palm trees.
People love their palm trees. They come to Florida and they want a palm tree on their property, and this is going to be a challenge. This is tough. I mean, this is right up there with citrus greening. People want an orange tree.
And there's no cure.
Tree. There's pretty much what it's more of over like a. What was it, a preventative? Where's my page? Management.
Oh, really? You can get a vaccine or something?
Actually, they have management of, and they call it LBD, lethal bronzing disease, involves removal of infected palms and preventative injection of antibiotics. So it's one of those things that sounds like a very expensive method to try to do things, but current data suggests that once palms start showing symptoms, the label rate of the antibiotic, and it gives you a very long name of it, the chemical, is not sufficient for symptom reversal. So once it starts to show symptoms, it's pretty much call the tree removal company. Guess what? I got to have
You're
these trees
done.
taken. Yeah, and the list of trees that are susceptible, the Chinese windmill palm, queen palm, cabbage palm, that's our state palm.
That's this one out the window here?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
There's a Mexican palmetto. I'm pretty sure that's a Mexican fan palm. Not familiar with Buccaneer palm or Fiji fan palm. Wild date palm. That's a Sylvester, Phoenix Sylvester. Pygmy date palm. That's your Ruobellini palms. Everybody likes
I'd rather
those
have a
'cause
wild date than a pygmy date. Just personal preference.
Yeah. But the pygmy date palm is the one that a lot of people like because it doesn't get much more than about, say, 6 to 8 feet high.
We have one here at the mall.
Could be.
Yeah, one of the ends. I can't remember if it's the penny's end or the Belk end. It's a little tiny.
Yeah.
I'm taller than the palm tree.
Right. They're not, but they got spikes along the things, and they will poke you. Edible date palms, Canary Island date palm, Chinese fan palm. These are all palms. Pindo palm, the Bismarckia.
The Bismarckia.
Yeah, Christmas palms. I don't think people keep trying to plant Christmas palms around here, and I think we're a little too far north.
It doesn't say anything about coconuts, though. Is that a different?
No, it's not saying anything about the coconut palm. And Monroe and Martin counties are both, which I think they're both down there. But this is one of those kind of things. It's for landscape and things like that in natural areas, like when we had the pine beetle issue, and now that we have the citrus. There's just certain things, and that there is no control mechanism.
Well, it sounds like something that because it's like a headline story in the Star Banner today.
It is because you think like I said, the landscape and that it can really wipe out some natural areas if it gets in.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you have a phone call.
All right. Great.
Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning, Carol. This is Dan. Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you could answer it or not, but when I cut my grass lately, and I'm pushing the mower, all of a sudden these like little white moths or something fly out in front of me, in front of the grass. I don't know. Do you know what those are?
Yeah, they're probably Yeah, they're little. They're probably about a half an inch or so across, and
light
Like
a cluster of them come out in front when I keep cutting.
Yeah, you keep mowing, and they're flying. They're laying eggs. They're sod webworms. You might,
bad for my grass?
Yeah, it can be. Yes, it can.
Ew.
You might want to treat for them. I mean, you can try. I'm trying to think of what may be the mildest way to go. I'm not, it's hard to say. I mean, a lot of times a lawn will, if it's a healthy lawn to begin with, can survive like when you got a lot of a lot of moths, you're going to have a lot of worms. You may start to see some damage occur from it. The grass will recover, but you don't want big dead patches because then you get weeds coming in, etc.
Right.
So you may, if we have a few days of some drier weather, go ahead and try to treat for those.
Okay, because I have a spray service that comes out. Maybe I'll have to call them and see if they can help out.
Give them a call. Yeah, give them a call and let them know that you're seeing the little moths flying when you mow the grass.
Okay, cool. Oh, and by the way, Larry.
Yes.
Is Larry there?
Yes, I'm
I
here.
I liked your wild date joke. I thought that was funny.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd rather have that than a pygmy date. So keep up the good work, guys.
Now, if I was a pygmy, then it would be different.
It could be different. Yeah.
But I'm more of a Watusi. I'm more of a Watusi kind of a guy. All right, the number to call if you want to call Carolyn. This is probably a topic that the more people are talking about than we realize. The number to call Carolyn right now is 622-9622. So what do you do? I mean, what do you do? I mean, somebody's got a palm tree. They say, "Oh my gosh, don't hurt my palm. I love my palm."
Right. Yeah. I planted my palms. My palms are. Yeah. I moved in. There was. I made sure that I had a nice cluster of palms put in. I'm not. Just trying to read through whether or not you can try to keep the tree healthy, and that's not even really healthy palms. Near infected palms should be tested. If there's some, and free of infection, and then injected with the with the antibiotic every 3 to 4 months as a preventative, or for at least 2 years. So this is the kind of thing that this is sounding like. This is a tough one to go through, and I don't know. I'm sure that they're working in labs and things like that, trying to find out what they can do to, being as we have an antibiotic for it, but it doesn't work once it's infected. So it's one of those kind of things. It's a preventative. I don't know if they're going to try to do something to try to, if killing the insects, if using a systemic insecticide, I'm not sure would work to prevent it from being able to, get a population of these insects enough that would cause the bronzing. It's like the citrus greening. It's a little tiny insect that vectors the disease. The bug's carrying it, and so it carries on the wind. They can hop. They usually don't fly far. That's why one after another can be in a landscape or in a natural area be infected. Yet you get whole patches. Same way with the pine beetle. When we had the southern pine beetle issue, is that it might hop, but then it catches a breeze, and it gets transferred over to the next plant. And that's how they move. The southern pine beetle kind of thing too is that they jump off when the wind blows, or the wind blows hard and they get carried over from one tree to another, and there's not much you're going to do to stop that. So I'm not sure whether or not they're doing. It doesn't look like any recommendation on.
I wonder if the start
as an insect, trying to use something like a spray program to try to, knock the population of the insects down or not, or if using a systemic insecticide like they try with the citrus trees and things like that, of how to, or trying to eliminate it by removal of the insect that's bringing the disease in. But it's not really, the management is not real positive, except for the removal of trees. And it's such a very large host, host range that it makes it difficult as well. So it's not like we can say just don't plant this palm or these 2 or 3 palms for several years, like you can with some other soil-borne diseases and things like that.
It says here, I went to the Starbound article.
Okay.
I had to type in my number and everything.
Oh, no.
I always forget my passcodes for everything.
Oh,
so anyway, let's see. Michael Andro, the associate professor in forest systems at the University of Florida, brought up the example of the cabbage palm, said, relatively speaking, we don't know much about the cabbage palm and the role and the niche they fill in the native forests of Florida. So a disease that has the potential to wipe out the entire species, which this disease has the potential. Whether it's going to do that is another question. Wow. So it could wipe out the whole thing?
That's what they're saying. Yeah, is that it has no natural nothing that's stopping it in nature.
Where did it come from? Just all of a sudden?
I don't. Let me see. Where does it say? Where it was?
The whole
introduction.
World?
It's a novel phytoplasm disease identified in Hillsborough County and Tampa area, isolated from the edible date palm, wild date palm, Canary Island date palm, and queen palm. 2008, the phytoplasma was subsequently isolated from the cabbage palm. That's our native tree. The disease was first called Texas phoenix palm decline because it was found in the same pathogen isolated from one of the Canary phoenix palms in Texas in the early 2000s due to the expansion of the disease into Florida and Louisiana, as well as its discovery in Mexico and the fact that it has infected palms outside of the genus Phoenix. The name was changed to lethal bronzing, LB disease, in order to reflect the symptoms seen in various hosts. I don't know if they really have found out exactly where it came from. but it's that was the introduction to it. But healthy palms. Once a palm shows symptoms, that's it. Mechanically limited to the phloem of the palm and cannot survive outside the plant or insect, therefore it cannot be mechanically transmitted. So someone who's pruning your palms is not moving it from one palm to another. So you got the guy that comes out with his tree saw, taking off fronds. He's not doing anything. It is the bug.
The bug meaning the insect, or the bug meaning the virus?
The bug meaning the insect. The disease will sit in a tree without a host. It might kill that tree, but if it didn't have in the host is the tree. If it didn't have something like the insect, like this leafhopper, this carrier, to carry it from one to another. So the leafhopper, the insect, is a piercing, sucking insect. It pierces the leaf, takes out a little juice, feeds himself, hops and flies and gets carried by the breeze to the next tree, does the same thing, sticking that virus right into that plant.
Oh, wow.
Kind of like the way they say, like malaria and things like that are carried forth. This guy has it, shoots you full of it, and next thing you know, you're sick.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and it is one of those kind of things that keep an eye on your palm trees, and the symptoms, they vary. It's premature fruit drop is an early symptom.
But what fruit do we have on this tree?
That's a fruit. That's the fruit. That's the berry, the nut, that hanging down
that ugly
piece
thing?
where the bloom was. That's where the flower was.
So how would you know if it was early? Like if that fell in my yard.
If it came off and there was still a lot of flowers, I guess. If it was that kind of thing that. A necrotic inflorescences. Oh, they do have coconut palm on here, showing a picture of where it's like the sheath that protects the flower is opening and is very necrotic, very yellowed.
Why would it eradicate the cabbage palm and not the other palms?
Oh, it's getting quite a few of them. But I mean, initially it was only seen in a lot of the Phoenix ones. But now it's also in the Bismarcks, the coconut. There's coconut palm, Chinese fan palm, Canary Island date palm, edible date palm, pygmy date palm, and your wild date palm.
Those two always go together, don't they?
Those are going to go together. Yep.
Pygmy and wild.
Your cabbage palm, which is our sable, the queen palm, a very popular palm, in this area is the Bismarck palm, and the queen palm, and the Pindo palm. Are very popular palms that are sold all over the place, as very common. They're not expensive palms. I guess they're pretty easy to grow.
So from your perspective as somebody who works in the gardening section of a big box store,
right,
you're going to have a lot of people coming in after having read this article, asking, what can I do to protect my palm tree or my palm bushes, whatever.
They'd have to go to a professional. It sounds like that there's not something they could...
Are you off today?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Well, whoever's there today, I bet you they're getting them bombarded.
I've heard the story the last couple of days. So
really?
It's something, but hasn't come in. So probably within the next week or two. Yeah, I probably will hear something.
But if it's in the Star Banner today,
I may have to make a few inquiries on some things, whether or not it would help to do anything to try to be as a preventative. And that's my thought is what. Like the list I have here, which if it's in the Star Banner, I'm guessing it's been discovered in Marion County.
Well, it doesn't say that. What it says is it could spread.
Could spread. Okay.
Yeah.
But and reading on this, and this is an IFAS bulletin. It's actually, this is an EDIS. So if you go edis.ifas.ufl.edu.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah, it's EDIS, IFAS, UFO, EDU.
Gosh.
This is publication.
They need to come up with a better
Well, actually,
if
you go EDIS, IFAS, UFO, EDU.
It sounds like a character from a children's book.
Yeah, I know. Sounds like the way I named my ducks and chickens one time. But
no, this is ducks and chickens.
Well, at one time we had.
You didn't eat them, did you?
No, they died of old age. We had Cheap and Chip, Peep and Pip, and Cheese and Quackers.
See, if I was a bird like that, I would be happy to be named because you're probably not going to be eaten.
No, we just had their eggs. That was it. But the publication is PP243. So all I did was search lethal bronzing disease, and I didn't want the blog. I just wanted the article. And so this is not an article. It's an actual publication. It was a written publication. It does have a PDF that can be downloaded. So if you're looking for something to save, it's within plant pathology, palm diseases. And like I said, when I scrolled way down to the bottom, I do believe this is a couple of years old. So there may be some updates or some footnotes going to be coming out on it, or some other, ways to look a little further into it. But it's up until the news report, it's up to date.
All right, we are at the break point, and we went a little bit long, so we will take a little break and be right back. I think we have some prizes.
We do have some prizes, some gift certificates to Baldwin's Community Gardens and Nursery, and Time Out Billiards and Grill.
So if you would like that combo prize package, looks like we can take 3 of you. If you just call 622-9622. If you're still ringing and we're done with the break, that means other people won them. If you won already, okay, hold on a second. If you already won last week or whatever, let somebody else win. All right, we'll be right back. The number is 622-9622. We'll be right back. Here is your 1-minute news brief. The third tropical depression of the season has formed in the Bahamas. Rough surf and heavy rain are forecast for Florida's east coast, with outer bands expected to reach central Florida in the next day or two. A botanical disease called lethal bronzing, which kills palm trees, is causing concern across Florida and may impact palm trees in Marion County. A new state law will no longer require permits for people to remove trees from their private property, but you will still need the go-ahead from an arborist. A 23-year-old Chicago woman punched a worker at Disney's Hollywood Studios after she was told her fast passes were not valid for the Tower of Terror. A federal grand jury has indicted a Florida businessman for conspiring to violate the U.S. embargo against Iran. A 58-year-old Tampa woman has been arrested after she groped another woman and then told the victim's husband to go back to the country he came from. And gasoline prices are predicted to drop by about 12 cents during the next week. And that is your news brief from The Source.
Times of sun and clouds today. There'll be a couple of showers and a thunderstorm in the area from late morning on. The high between 87 at the coast and 91 inland. A shower and thunderstorm around early Tuesday night. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies. Low 71 inland, 75 at the coast. On Wednesday, some sun followed by increasing clouds. Look for a couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm, mainly during the afternoon hours. The high 83 at the coast, up to 91 inland. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Honey Baked Ham at 2709 Southwest 27th Avenue has new management. For our listeners, they're offering a 10% discount. Just mention this ad.
Have you been to Baldwin's Camellia Gardens lately? If not, you're overdue for a visit to see the tremendous bargains inside their huge old-timey greenhouse. All fountains, bird baths, lots of yard art, and other decor, all 20% off. A great selection of glazed pottery, all buy one, get one free. Step inside this huge place and see all the neat stuff and the super low prices. Also this week at Baldwin's, small sun and shade-loving camellias, regularly $14.99, just $5 while they last. Crepe myrtles from as low as $9.99, all the way up to $599, all buy one, get one free. A huge selection of herbs, all half price. Check us out for all the great deals at BobWinesCameliaGardens.net or on Southeast 38th Street, Ocala. Daily till 4, Saturdays till 3 in the same blooming place since 1952.
Howdy, folks. RL here for Dairy Queen Silver Springs. We want to thank Marion County for 45 years of loyalty. We love this wonderful community, so come on down to Dairy Queen Silver Springs and get some of our great food and ice cream. We have a number of great meal deals that include dessert at a better price than anyone in the industry. Our products are made fresh to order just for you. Dairy Queen Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
All right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock. Real quick look at the weather. 88 degrees. Is that right now? 88? Is that possible? 82 degrees right now, sorry. 88 the expected high today. And the chance of rain increases as we get later into the day. So it looks like about a 40% chance of rain about 2 p.m., and then as you get around 8 p.m., there's a 60% chance of rain. And I think, Caroline, that's that tropical
depression number 3 kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's funny because yesterday I thought I heard that it was should have even been past us by last night. Or
really?
Early this morning kind of thing. But it could be some of the bottom weather bands or something like that. But
Wednesday and Thursday, the bigger chances of rain. And it's all day long, both of the days, 75% Wednesday and 65% Thursday. So I don't know.
That thing should be out of our area as far as
really? I thought it was still down in the Bahamas somewhere.
I don't know. Maybe my weather guy was wrong.
Maybe it's carrying. Well, we have probably have the same weather guy.
Pulling moisture up.
It's like we all have the same AAA guy. Every time I have a AAA story, it's the same name, right? Mm-hmm. It's like one name.
Well, they have a spokesperson.
I know. They only have one of them.
They only have one, right? Well, that's just OPD has one.
You would think, though, with 3 letters in their name, AAA, you'd have at least 3 guys.
Well, why? I mean, they probably have somebody for travel. They probably have somebody for travel things that are coming through.
Right.
They probay have somebody for the gas, because gas
That's his
prices,
whole job. His whole job is the gas price.
Gas prices, right. He's the one in charge of that part. But say travel things, like if AAA is making a report on travel information, you're probably getting somebody different.
All right. We are returning, of course, to the show, and you have a phone call. Good morning. You're on there with Carol Ann.
Yeah, good morning, guys.
Morning.
Say, I just talked to Bob Wines about the palm tree disease situation there, and they're aware of it, and they're researching it, and they told me to call back tomorrow. They'll have answers. See, right now they're just it's new to them. They don't know exactly what's going on, but they're going to find out, and they'd be very glad to suggest whatever you could do to protect your palms tomorrow. So if anybody wants to call them, they'll have the answer for them tomorrow.
Well, they're going to hope to have an answer. Like I said, I'm reading right off the pages and stuff, and there might not be a true just answer on some of this.
Well, and Carolina, could I make a request of you? If you find something out, you don't have to wait till next Tuesday.
I'll post it or
make sure
give you a holler.
Yeah. Well, come on the air and give us a soundbite for the news.
Sure.
That'd be cool.
But it takes some reading to find out.
That would be a shame for the state to lose a lot of palm trees, because, that's, when you think of Florida, you think of palm trees. It's just one of the things that's natural for this area. So hopefully it could be something that they can control anyways.
Well, like they said on it, it is something that once the symptoms are there, there's nothing they can really do. And the expense of doing an injection treatment to try to cure or prevent it takes you 2 years of injections every 3 to 4 months.
Wow.
So a lot of these palm trees that we plant are not necessarily, they may be native to Florida, or many of them may even be imported into the United States years ago, and that can also be a problem. Queen palms and the Phoenix robellini, the pygmy date palm, are not extremely cold hardy palms. So where we're at here in Marion County, every winter that we have hard freezes or bad freezes, it weakens those trees. It makes those trees more susceptible to diseases and issues, pathogens, than a hardier tree. But even our native sable palm is also susceptible. So it's some of these, maybe, it might be a look back again at the industry of going, maybe we're pushing things out of their comfort zone sometimes causing a problem. That maybe these more tropical palms, if they would have been left in a more tropical location, that this disease may not have ever spread, or may not have spread as far as quickly.
Interesting thought.
So it's quite a bit.
Yeah. Thank you, Hugh.
Did you say it's being spread by an insect?
Yes. Yeah, so it's a piercing, sucking insect. It's a small, like a leaf hopper, that a similar, not the same, a similar insect that's vectoring citrus greening, and so we know how bad that's affecting our citrus industry, and unfortunately, with this lethal bronzing, once you actually begin to see symptoms, that's it. You're not going to cure the tree. Same thing with, like, when we had the pine beetles. Anybody remembers the southern pine beetle? I mean, we had a hotline in Marion County to call with forestry in order to try to get that isolated, get those trees cut down and everything like that. That once you saw the symptom, that tree was dead. It actually was. Yeah, that tree was dead. So it is one of those kind of things that this is something that I'm sure they've been doing a lot of research, because it's been out. There's one article just right here says 2006. So there's almost 14 years now on that, and so there's a lot of, I'm sure there's a lot of research that's been going on.
Yeah, years ago, back up in Wisconsin, we all went through what they call the Dutch elm disease.
Right.
And let me tell you, that was those elm trees they're just beautiful, beautiful trees. And boy, that bug or whatever that was, it took probably around 75% of the trees out. But I just hope something like that don't happen here with those palms.
And the thing with the Dutch elm disease is, I don't think that's completely gone. I think it's it's more controlled, and that's another reason why when we go camping, you are told, don't bring your firewood from home. You got some oak trees that you cut up in your backyard, and you got it seasoned out, and you're going to go camping up in Georgia. You don't fill the back of your pickup truck with your wood from Florida and carry it over there, because you could be carrying a beetle or a disease issue from that beetle up into another state. That's why we don't transport plant material without it going through state inspections. I know people look at me thinking I'm a goody two shoes when I say, you can't do that, and they, I'll do it if I want.
Yeah, right.
You might be one transporting problems.
Yeah, well, let's hope the people that know figure out what to do, and we can stop this problem before it does any damage.
That's at least not something severe. Yeah, that they can get. It's one of those kind of things that hopefully we can find it. That they've been looking at it long enough that they do have an injection type antibiotic, but I just see that being cost prohibitive to 98% of
probably
homeowners.
Oh yeah.
And especially in natural areas also.
Yeah.
Although we know hard freezes or frosts I know good for palm trees, but maybe in a way that might knock the bug out.
It may be what has kept it from coming up this far as quickly, but it is up in Alachua County. So I don't know if it was because some plant material was brought up with it on there, or if it's but they're saying that, like, Jacksonville will be the northernmost area that it would probably survive in, so it's not going to necessarily leave the state of Florida. But, to knock it back, we would probably have to have some serious freezes that would actually kill some of those palms also.
Yeah. Well, let's hope for the best. That's all I can say. It's to be a shame to lose them. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. Nice talking.
Nice talking to you. Yep. And it's it's a tough one, and even here I just brought up another website one, but it's current recommendations is remove the palms that have been diagnosed. It recommended to preventatively inject non-symptomatic palms that are in the vicinity of infected specimens. It's an oxytetracycline. That's now I can see it large enough, but maybe some high-end shopping centers, condominiums, universities, and things like that can probably treat what they have. So it may actually act as, in a way, a barrier to help slow down or stop it. But that treatment is every 3 months. I just see that being an issue that is going to be a problem. Hopefully, we can get a handle on it and find out maybe if we can preventatively knock down that insect population, or if we're finding or looking for, which I'm sure we are, looking for a parasite to attack the insect.
Yeah, right.
One of those kind of things.
Or
come
frogs.
Back to the
Maybe frogs just need
biologicals.
to eat them.
And we've got plenty of invasive ones of those that you'd think if they were hungry, they'd be eating them.
They just get them all.
Yeah, so it's a tough one that they actually have a.
It would be a shame if we didn't have any palm trees. I mean, that's crazy. It's crazy to think about.
It is, and it's one of those things that it happens. Extension notes. Okay, this is a May 22nd of 2019 article. It's actually like MSN Lifestyle. It's a plant hopper, spread the disease. Hapalaxis crudus is found throughout Florida and the Caribbean. Pathogen first discovered in Texas, killing the Phoenix palms. But it's one of those, let's see, I'm not finding anything. Let's see, Yucatan Peninsula, 2005, Hurricane Wilma, due to the pathogen, were blown from the Yucatan Peninsula in 2005. Track first took it over the Yucatan and then onto Florida's Gulf counties. Showed up in Florida in 2006, so, we've been working on it for 14 years, or when it was found, what was found back then. So they're trying to genetic testing to try to prove that their infected insects came from, so that, when you find out where the insects come from, and it's not that we're blaming the Yucatan Peninsula, we're not blaming Mexico for the disease. It's find out where they're from and look for their predator.
Yeah.
What would kill them off. And so that's, because you figure that it hasn't killed off all of the palms in Mexico. Kind of thing. So one of those. But I'm not seeing anything really new in it yet. So we'll keep an eye on it.
If you would like to call Carol Ann, you are definitely welcome to do that. The number is 352-622-9622, and it does not have to be on the topic that we're talking about. You can ask Carol Ann about something else happening in your lawn or in your garden, or you can continue the conversation about what's it called? Bronzing? Lethal bronzing.
Lethal bronzing.
Yeah.
I posted a couple pictures on the page this morning of the air potato beetle at work, because the other week, remember Kathy, we had talked about it, that she had gotten on the list. Well, I had noticed some yesterday at one place. I said, I keep forgetting to go look at mine. And so I took some pictures this morning before I left the house, and yes, they are eating up the air potato that's on my fence.
It's working.
Yeah. It is. They are taking care of them, knocking them out.
Cool.
And so if anybody wants to see the pictures of how they feed on them, how they skeletonize, I took like 4 pictures, and you can see how they really skeletonize the leaves on the thing. And on the second picture, there's one of the beetles. There were 2 other beetles, but when I was holding the leaf off, they were making baby beetles, and they dropped off.
Oh my gosh.
So I have a population that's trying to redo itself. Now the lot that's next to me is an overgrown lot. So hopefully nobody's mowing over there. I don't really have need to mow much over there, so I'm not really disturbing a lot of the leaf litter that's there. So I'm hoping that they're able to overwinter in those areas. The third picture, you see some in the background that they're very skeletonized, that they just consume the whole leaf and just leave the vein issues or vein tissues on there, and that leaf and that vine starts to die back. And it doesn't seem to matter if they just are eating like the bottom leaves. You'll see the top of the plant begin to go
really
bad as well. So I don't know if maybe even they in the little plant world are putting something into that, but they are definitely voracious eaters, that you don't see a whole lot of beetles, but you see a whole lot of damage.
All right, you have a phone call. Good morning. Thank you for waiting. You're on there with Carol Ann.
Oh, how nice. This is another subject.
Sure.
What is the procedure to check if your gardenia tree might qualify for the largest in the state of Florida?
Oh, I have no idea.
It's enormous.
Okay.
The age of it is not known.
Okay.
I've had it for over, 70 years.
Wow.
And before then, it was at a old motel here in Ocala.
Wow.
And I can't even reach the top. It takes a tall ladder to get any of the gardenias on top. They start way below.
Wow.
And it's as fat, you might say, as can be.
Yeah. But that's huge. You know what? I have no idea how you would find out if you're looking if it. Not even sure how to word that as a search. I'll try to find out. It's kind of thing. Yeah, find out the largest or oldest.
Right.
Gardenia.
Oh, I sure would like to find out.
Well, here's what it says on average. They're between 2 and 8 feet tall and wide. So it sounds like yours already beats the average.
It's over 8 feet, right?
Oh, it's about 12 feet.
Wow. But
yes.
To find out if we're trying to find out the oldest or the largest.
I since I don't know the date, I would say the largest.
Oh, okay.
Well, we'll have to look up. Maybe we can do some research.
We'll see what we can find out.
Oh, I would really appreciate that.
All right. We'll see what we can find.
Great.
All right. Thanks for calling.
Okay, you bet. Bye-bye.
So the one line in this one that might answer at least what's not unusual. Okay. Gardenia plants usually grow from 2 to 12 feet tall and tall and wide, 2 to 12 feet tall and wide. So.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, that's your size. Depending on the variety, you can have smaller ones that would be in that 2 to 3 foot range. Some of your full size or standard size ones are going to get to that 8, 10, 12. I guess I could get 12 feet in good growing conditions and that, but that's just the age of that is just fantastic. I mean,
you could submit it to Guinness.
Well, but I mean, she doesn't know the age of it, and this would probably, and you figure, I don't think gardenias are native.
But she knows
to Florida. She knows
at least a certain age.
It's at least 70.
So she could submit that. My gardenia is at least 70 years old, and it's 12 or 13 or 14 feet tall, and say, I think it's the biggest in the world. And if they don't have anybody to contest it, that's yours. Right. You get it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way unless somebody else contests it. Then you have the record.
That's true. Let's see, largest.
Right. I mean, if holding the record has to be documented somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe nobody ever thought about calling it in.
Right. It could be that nobody ever did.
Yeah.
But I mean, we have, usually, the biggest palm tree, the biggest this, the biggest that. Even just locally within, the state of Florida kind of thing. Largest gardenia in Florida. We'll keep ours. We'll keep ours.
Keep it local.
Yeah.
Does it bring anything up?
Yeah, actually, it does.
Really?
But I'm not seeing where it's the large. Seeing size. Going for size. Gardenias, gardening gardenias in Florida.
Bless you.
Excuse me.
Bless
Thank you. It snuck up on me.
Must be allergic to the word
to
gardenia.
The gardenia. Oh, I love the scent of gardenias. Don't say that.
No, I said the word.
I know.
Allergic to the word.
The word gardenia. Scrolling down. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything on that. It's a nice article though. Nice macro news. Just if you're interested in gardenias, it gives some information, and I'm just scrolling through it. Marco knew us. So from Marco Island, probably. Go back. There we go. So I'm not sure. Search.
I'm gonna do the song got a Grammy for it.
Sorry. Oops. I don't know what that was.
No, I don't. Yeah, no, I'm not seeing anything, right offhand, just, while we're on the air trying to do the research. Right. I'm not seeing anything. But gardenias are fantastic, and they grow well here. I get a lot of people go, I planted gardenias, and they're just turning yellow, da-da-da. It's like, where did you put them? And they're right in the front of the house, and they're in the full all-day sun. And I'm going, yeah, no wonder, they don't like that. I know that there are gardenias that they will say will tolerate full sun, but you know what? I would be putting them somewhere where they were getting shade in the afternoon. They can take a lot of morning sun, and they can take a lot of light that comes in and out throughout the day. So if it's a high canopy, where you're getting a couple of hours in the late afternoon kind of thing, and here and there, but to put it out in the middle of the front yard where there's nothing protecting it, it's not. They're not going to be happy. Not really. I mean, some may acclimate to that, but if it was me and I'm going to go, with something I want fragrant. One, I want it close enough where I can smell it, on a patio or whatever near, where I'm going to sit out or where I'll have windows open, in certain times of year. I want to be able to smell those because they are fantastic fragrance, so long as you're not allergic to them. But mine is, kind of a scraggly one, but blooms like crazy, and it's in a lot of shade. It would probably be more full, more leaves on it if I had more sun. I just have to get in there and see whether or not I can sneak out some small limbs or small trees out of the way and get that one some more sun. But gardenias, I'm not sure how we're going to find out.
Yes, I found a song. I found a song called Gardenia.
Oh, did you?
Let's see. There you go. I'm the one who likes to make love on the floor. Oh, wow. She likes gardenias and making love on the floor.
Wow.
Well, that's two good things.
I suppose so. I don't know if they're related, but so we got another. Favorite large, that's probably the one you were looking at. Favorite large gardenia varieties, 2 to 12 feet tall.
Yeah, probably.
Not sure how you'd find that out.
Sounds like some research is necessary.
It does. Sounds like the laptop will carry around, or I do it on my phone when I have a moment of slowness at work, like that happens. Except for when it's raining, then it slows down nicely.
It's amazing how many questions there are about gardening. And then when there's a major news item,
then you have a whole
about
lot,
a tree we don't want to see go away, like today.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to see that palm tree go away.
No,
can you imagine?
No, we don't.
That would be crazy.
Yeah. That would really hurt the landscape industry and things like that. But then again, that's what happens when you start to get almost like a monoculture of plants. I mean, what happens if something starts to attack the crepe myrtle?
Then Ocala is out of luck.
Yeah,
we got a lot of them.
There's a lot of landscaping done with the crepe myrtle, and crepe myrtle do have their very own. They do have their very own pest. There actually is an aphid that feeds only on crepe myrtles. That's what'll cause that black sooty mold on them. This and that. But you can spray for that. Yeah, or you could use the systemics. Use it early in the season. If you're going to spray, do it if you can in the evening so that it has a chance. Because most of your topical sprays really have a short half-life on the plant because of the heat, the sun, and things like that. So if you're going to try to control the pest, you want to do it early on, realizing when your trees start to get really big, you're not probably going to do a whole lot, and that they do drop their leaves every year. Good cleanup underneath there, and so it might not be a big issue.
Wow.
Hour's over?
Anybody who wants to share the things Carol Ann was able to tell us about anything in this show, remember we do record all of these shows. We put them up as podcasts on YouTube, and Robin puts them up on Facebook. And so if you don't know how to find them, ask Robin. She'll be able to tell you how that's done or how to get them. And important show today because it's today's news.
It is
about fixing that stuff. So
and I'll see what I can do on getting something up onto the Facebook page, the In the Garden page, and we'll try to.
As soon as you find something,
I'm going to find some interest.
I'm going to call you and get a soundbite for the news. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you, Larry.
All right, we'll be right back. This is WOCA Ocala.
Fox News. I'm Chris Foster. Boris Johnson will be the next Prime Minister of Great Britain, elected leader by his ruling Conservative Party.
We are going to energise the country. We're going to get Brexit done.